This is the Uptick Network Stock Day Podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Penny stock news and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest with us. He is Jack Stoch. He is the CEO of Globex Mining Enterprises. They trade on the TSX under the ticker symbol GMX, and they also trade down here in the States on the OTCQX under the ticker symbol GLBXF. Jack, welcome, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
You know, give my listeners a little bit of a background of yourself and a little bit of background of the company, and then I want to get into some Q&A today.
Okay. Globex is an exploration mining company. We're based out of Rouyn-Noranda, Quebec, in the mining district, the Abitibi mining district. We are a largely self-sustaining company. I've been at the helm here for about 29 years, and we started off with one asset. Now we're up to over 150 assets, and we span half the periodic table, as well as industrial minerals. We're not a focused company in the sense of companies that focus on a particular metal, like gold, whatever, although we have over 70 gold projects. We, I guess, I like to say focused on not being unfocused, in that we're looking to try to make money. We're looking to try to gain value and assets, and that's what we concentrate on. We call ourselves a property mineral bank, and which is a bit different. As far as my background is concerned, I'm a professional geologist in Quebec as well as Saskatchewan. I've been in the business for over 35 years. My board consists of geologists principally, as well as a financier. So we're you know, the hands-on experience just on the board is over 200 years. So a good group of people, and senior people too.
So let me see if I have your model right. You guys go out and you find these different mines, if you will, properties. You drill down, you discover there's different minerals, different metals in there, and then you sell off those properties, because you guys don't do any of the work yourself. You don't do any of the excavating or anything like that, do you?
Yes and no. You're kind of right, but not completely right. What we do is we use our intellectual bank to acquire assets. We really know the Abitibi. We know a number of, like, we have 3 assets in the U.S. also, but we're business people basically, and we look around, try to find assets using our geological knowledge. We acquire those assets at generally excellent prices. We're well known for being very, very good in acquisition. And then we do enough work on the property to make the value evident. Sometimes these are properties other people have abandoned. Sometimes they're things that people think that they've done a good job on and want to basically walk away. And what we do is we use our specialized knowledge to review the assets, some cases do work, some cases do drilling, geophysics, whatever, to bring it to the point where the value, the potential actually is very evident. And then it goes into our bank, and companies know that we have this bank of assets, and they'll call us or come up and say, look, Jack, we're looking for a particular industrial mineral project, or we're looking for a gold project or a copper project. What do you got? We show them what we've built up. They choose one. They pay us. Generally, our structure is every year for 4 years they give us cash. They give us shares in their company. They have to meet a minimum work requirement, usually in the millions of dollars. And at the end of the story, they earn whatever interest they agree to, and we retain what we call a gross mineral royalty, which is something we invented. The gross mineral royalty is different from an NPI or NSR in that it is the value of the mineral as it comes out of in the case of gold, out of the refinery. So, for example, if we have optioned a gold property and they go into production and we have a 3% gross metal royalty, it's 3% of the gold as it comes out of the refinery put into our account. So there is no charges of any kind, like NSR, there's refining charges, vending charges, transport, all kinds of other things. This is straight. As it comes out of the refinery, it's ours. If it's base metals, as it comes out of the smelter. It is actually liked by a lot of companies because it is clean and we get rid of lawyers, which everybody can agree upon is a useful thing.
Absolutely. My guest today is Jack Stoch. He is the CEO of Globex Mining Enterprises. They trade on the TSX under the ticker symbol GMX. They also trade on the OTCQX under the ticker symbol GLBXF. Let me ask you this, Jack. How many Globex shares are issued? Tell us about your float, the authorized, and then I want to get into talking about your market cap because it seems very undervalued, around $13 million.
Right. Well, the authorized issuance is unlimited, but we're very paranoid about issuing stock. I mean, we think that it is in the best interest of our shareholders not to issue stock. So after 29 years, we only have 46 million shares out, and we have never done a rollback. The way that we're able to do this is that we make money, where other companies basically spend money, go back to the market, get more, sell more shares.
You're absolutely right.
Right. We don't do that. We actually make money through our options and through royalties. And this allows us to do our work, to do the acquisitions, with doing very limited dilution on our shareholders.
It seems like your model is different from other mining. Why doesn't other people take your model and put it in place?
It's a much more long-term model, and it is a model that requires a dedication to that long-term view. Most companies are more focused on a particular asset. They got investors, whatever, that are hot about a particular gold asset, so they have to concentrate their efforts on that. We try to disseminate the risks to others and have the minimal risk on our side. It's a more difficult model. It can be rewarding. Our stock was, when the markets were hot, was up over $7. Now we're down to 37 cents today. It just is crazy. And we have double the assets that we had when we were trading at $7. Just for an example, and these are not, some of them are NI 43-101 reserves, some of them are not. Some of them are historical, but if you look at our assets, we have over 6.6 million ounces of gold. Never mind all the other stuff: the copper, the zinc, the iron, the industrial minerals, magnesium, talc, manganese, feldspar. I mean, we have all kinds of different things. It requires a lot of effort to find these things. Requires a lot of effort to do these things, but at the same time, it is the negative of what we do is because we have so many assets and it is so complex. Most investors and most brokers, for sure, know one or two different things. They know gold or they know copper. But if you go talk to, like, we're just going to be doing a deal shortly on a feldspar property, and we also just did another one recently announced one on manganese in New Brunswick. Well, just you say manganese to a broker or to an investor, they don't know what it is.
Right.
And we look at it and we go, manganese, you can't make specialty steel without manganese. Manganese is 100% imported into North America. There is no production in North America. So it's 100% imported, and now the newest use is for the lithium-ion batteries. It's one of the
That's right.
It's one of the components, and most of the public don't know it. So you say manganese, and you're going to do something with it. Like we've just done a deal; they just raised $1 million to drill on our project where there's a big historical resource. It sort of goes over people's heads because they can't relate to it.
Well, speaking about going over heads, and we kind of brushed through it really fast. Would you explain to my listeners what exactly an NI, what is that, 43-100 or 100-43?
NI 43-101?
Yes, 101. What exactly that is?
Okay, NI 43-101 is the standard by which all resources and reserves or technical reports have to be written today. There was so much, how should we say, questionable?
Yeah, pie in the sky.
Yeah, I'm being nice. I'm saying questionable. reports written, questionable resources. So the regulatory authorities now have clamped down. This became really into focus with the BRIEX thing. So now when you do a resource calculation, it has to meet certain points, and they're very specific.
Absolutely.
And the terminology is extremely specific. And you're at risk if you put out both. And an excellent move by the regulators.
I agree. I totally agree.
And so that's what it is. It's a very, very controlled issuance of information. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody, can't put out a bunch of bull and take off to Brazil, but generally it doesn't happen very often.
My guest today is Jack Stoch. He is the CEO of Globex Mining Enterprises. They trade on the TSX Senior Exchange, Toronto Exchange up there on the ticker symbol GMX. They also trade on the OTCQX under the ticker symbol GLBXF. Now in 2015, Jack, you guys' revenues were a little bit south of $1 million. What do you expect going forward in 2016 and 2017 that you could tell my listeners?
Well, we think it's going to be going much higher. I'm announcing a deal on Tuesday, which will bring us some revenue. We got another one in the works. Just the initial cash payment is, I think, $200,000. So, we've done a number of deals also that have brought in significant cash already, and we have a number of other ones actually in the works. So, we'll be generating much more than we did last year, and the money goes forward, meaning that we have to do little or no share issuances, unless we do a share issuance for an acquisitions. But even there, we are rarely do that.
Now, most of your properties are located where, and what's the importance of where the locations are with your properties?
Okay, we don't like political risk, so all of our properties are in Eastern Canada. So Quebec would be the principal place, then some in Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, and then we have a royalty on a zinc mine in Tennessee. We have a royalty on a gold-silver deposit in Nevada, and a gold-platinum-palladium project in Washington State. So we're not interested in going into Africa, Indonesia, Philippines, where you own it one day and the next day somebody comes in and says, screw it, you own nothing.
Right. We're going to take it over from you.
Yeah, Venezuela is the perfect example.
Exactly.
There's a whole bunch of countries like that, where the Philippines, for example, decided that they wanted to control the export and production of nickel.
Right.
So, if you have a deposit there, the value of it it becomes significantly less. South Africa, where they decided, the indigenous people have to have a 51% interest, and they can't afford to pay for it, so you've got to give it to them. It's I like where the only battles we have are with the environmentalists and the governments here are just basically making you conform to long periods that are required for them to study things, instead of dealing with something in a month, it'll take them 5 months. But at least you know what your rights are, and you know that they work within a certain parameter.
My guest today has been the company Globex Mining Enterprises. They trade on the TSX up there in Toronto under the ticker symbol GMX. They also trade on the OTCQX under the ticker symbol GLBXF. Jack, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Is there anything that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about here in closing that you would like to get out?
But the only thing I would say is that people should go take a look at our presentation on our website, globexmining.com. Understand that we own all of our assets. That's one of the other things I should mention, is that we don't owe anybody anything. We own everything in the company down to the pencils. We own our office buildings, our trucks, our properties, all 150 projects we own, and we're not paying anybody anything. And 49, actually now 50, come to think of it, of our assets have historical or NI 43-101 resources. That is really something very, very special.
Jack, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're going to check back with you in a couple of months. I wish you the best. and we'll talk to you then.
Thank you very, very much for your interest.